Hey, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Honest. It's titled Pink Friday 2 Snooze City. Oop! I have reacted to Pink Friday 2 on my Patreon. We have been discussing it for the past few days now, child. So we are over there in the comments giving our opinions about, this project. I feel like Honest is a barb. So this is very interesting coming from him. I have reacted to him quite a bit, and I'm pretty sure he has said a lot of positive things about Nicki. I might be getting him confused with somebody else, though, to be honest. I don't know, child. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say. Let's watch.
Nicki Minaj has officially released her fifth album, Pink Friday 2. The lead up to the album was a bit chaotic, and the album experienced a delay. Ultimately, all the mess was pushed to the side once a fan-led meme campaign called Gag City completely took over the internet, which even got me a bit invested. And I thought it was a great way of promotion. But it's time we talk about the actual album, not the rollout or the memes. Previously, I had said this: whatever she decides to do with her fifth album, I hope it's good. I hope we get to see a more mature side of Nicki that maybe touches on her life as a mother, her reflecting on her career, and some of her losses and gains, as opposed to her industry beefs. I think that an amalgamation of the best aspects of Nicki, being funny, being introspective, being a little off the wall with smart and clever production choices. And leading up to the album, I failed to see how the singles were a continuation of Pink Friday. They honestly don't resemble or even give off the same magnetic energy as her debut album. The album is 22 songs long, and it needed to be cut down drastically. There's way too much filler, and not a lot of excitement in between many of the disjointed moments. It opens with a song that samples Billie Eilish's When the Party's Over. And while I appreciate the sentiment of her embracing motherhood, the way the sample is utilized is not very effective or good. It's way too much Billie Eilish, far more than Nicki, and it just makes me want to listen to the original song. She then follows with a series of mild trap bangers, some that are better than others, like Barbie Dangerous. And then we have FTCU and Beat Beat. In FTCU, she drops a line sending shots at both Iggy Azalea and Megan Thee Stallion, saying, "Stay in your Tory Lane, I'm not Iggy." I like the J. Cole feature on Let Me Calm Down and the breeziness and melancholy of the song, but ultimately this album drags and drags on. It's way too long, there's way too much singing, probably her most singing-filled album since Roman Reloaded. And some of the singing and struggle auto-tune notes made me audibly laugh, like
Oh
on
my
Just
God.
Memories, which once again has a nice sentiment, but is weighed down by Nicki not knowing her strengths and weaknesses.
Wait, I was distracted. I ain't never heard that clip before.
Filled album since Roman Reloaded. And some of the singing and struggle auto-tune notes made me audibly laugh, like on Just the Memories, which once again has a nice sentiment, but is weighed down by Nicki not knowing her strengths and weaknesses when it comes to singing and vocal styling. On nearly all the features, the featured artists have more airtime than Nicki on her own songs. From Drake to Future to Skilly Bang, it just gives me the impression that they were scraps from these artists' projects that Nicki collected. The second half of the album is filled with these TikTok-like, sample-heavy songs that feel like they were made to extend and capitalize on the success of Super Freaky Girl and Barbie World. The samples range from Cyndi Lauper's classic Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, Heart of Glass by Blondie. She also does a somewhat chaotic Jersey Beat song with Lil Uzi Vert that samples Junior Senior's Move Your Feet, and obviously Super Freaky Girl, which samples Rick James' Super Freak, none of which utilize the samples all that well. They only make me want to listen to the original songs. Pink Friday Girls, which samples Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, isn't a bad pop rap moment though, but nothing is really transformative. Once again, I wouldn't say any of the samples are integrated into coherent or inventive tracks. The album doesn't have much artistic presence in the context of Nicki's career and discography, in my opinion. Gives off more of the feeling of a mixtape or something you just put together to meet a deadline or to satisfy your fans until the real thing comes. You don't get any impression that Nicki even genuinely thinks or feels this is her best work. There's not even a lot of blazing moments when it comes to her unique flow changes. It also leaves the impression that this album was likely only named Pink Friday 2 to bank on nostalgia and name recognition, because it doesn't evolve or mature the sounds, aesthetics, themes, or sonic palette of her debut album. There's no starry-eyed motivational anthem like Moment for Life or Fly. There's no genius pop rap moment like Super Bass. And there's certainly no disses that cut harder or at least just as hard as Roman's Revenge or Did It on him. In fact, Pink Friday's worst songs are better than Pink Friday 2's best songs. Not that that's saying too much, but still, I think the most that can be said is that it's probably the most singing that she's done since the early days of her career. Pink Friday 2 is not cohesive in the slightest, and it's just a hodgepodge of sometimes sweet and victorious, but mostly half-baked and ill-fitting ideas. With that being said, there are a handful of highlights such as Bomb Bomb, Barbie Dangerous, Let Me Calm Down, and Big Difference, where her fierce and electric personality isn't lost in forgettable balladry and bad auto-tune warble. Easy to say, I do prefer the more rap-heavy songs. The production for the most part is also pretty faceless and lacks character. I think Nicki definitely needed a better selection of beats. The lyricism isn't anything new, there's peaks of introspection, but not much. It doesn't necessarily feel like a follow-up to Pink Friday. Even if the original Pink Friday wasn't a perfect album, it had spirit and a range of well-conceived songs. This is easily the worst album Nicki Minaj has ever released and my least favorite. Barbs, I had to be honest. Gag City did not leave me gagged, and for that I will pack my bags.
Now
We've
pack
been
your
evicted.
bags. Oh, damn, he said this is her worst album to date. I appreciate the brutal honesty, though. I respect it. He laid it all out on the table for y'all. He said, listen, this is what I think, and this is why. And, you know, people are very afraid of expressing their honest opinions online nowadays because it's met with so much backlash, because you have so many airheads online who get so mad when somebody has a different opinion than them. It's like, y'all are such losers. Are you gonna live your entire life being a fucking lame and a loser? This is why you don't have friends. This is why you are online all day, because nobody likes you and you wonder why. This is why. Because you're a lame. Who gives a fuck about other people's opinion? How does that affect you at all? Why do you get so mad and want to throw attacks and get so pressed and do all this in people's fucking comments? Like, and people who do that, I feel like their intelligence is so low. It's so rewarding to hear other people's opinions, even when their viewpoints are different than yours, because it expands your intelligence, it expands your perspective on things. So it's always a good idea to hear people's different perspectives. But to get upset because they're not like you is weird. We're all different. People like different shit. So you mad that people are different? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I never will. People are lame. Anyway, yeah, I already gave my thoughts on the album. It's on Patreon. And I'm going to react to whatever new music videos that she drops. And, you know, I'll update my opinions about the album as I, you know, listen to it more and whatnot. But it's interesting. He made the comment and said that a lot of her samples, that it just makes him want to listen to the original. And that's funny. I've made that exact same statement, like, for years. Whenever I've, like, talked about samples, I usually say that, because that's how I feel about most samples. When I hear them, I'm just like, I don't usually like samples, because I'm just like, it just reminds me of the original. And I usually feel like the original is better. I'm just like, you know what, this was a great song. Let me turn this song off and go listen to the original one. So I think that's interesting that he said that, because I've never heard anyone say that. Because people usually like samples. They feel like, oh, this is so nostalgic, and they're usually into it. But I'm just like, why? Come with your own beats. You know, so I usually have that. I've always had that that viewpoint on samples. But yeah, these are his thoughts. And yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.